Hello, guys. It's Queen Olivia's Journey. Hope you guys are having a fabulous day. Please subscribe and don't forget to like the video. Okay, so you can see more videos about life, love, and vegan food, healthy living. Okay, anyway, let's get straight into it, guys. I put up a video a while ago stating how to become a nurse, and a lot of people are interested, saying, okay, once you become a nurse, what happens? You know, what do you do? Basically, I'm a LVN. I'm actually going to pursue my RN and take it further. But for now, I'm an LVN and a business owner of two businesses, which I'm very proud of. Metanoia by Olivia, and Metanoia is used and restored. And now an additional one, which is part of Metanoia used and restored, is called Lane. So actually three. I've been very busy, yes. But let me get right into it, guys. Becoming a nurse is not easy. It takes dedication, hard work. It takes if you have supportive friends and family, that is good to have because you're going to need it. It is blood, sweat, and tears, most definitely, okay? And with that being said, it's going to make you feel like, oh my God, did I pick the right thing to do? What am I doing? Why did I even think I could become this? When you have those doubts, always remember, hey, I decided to do this, and remember whatever reasons why. If it's only based because of money, then yeah, you're in the wrong profession. You need to get out. Because there's a lot of people who think, oh, you make a lot of money, you could do easy this. It's not easy. It's not easy. In actuality, you do more than what you get paid. So if you're not in it for the love of it and helping people and doing the right thing by people, please do not become a nurse. I've seen numerous nurses that just come in it for the money. They don't have empathy, compassion for their patients, nothing. It's all about the money. They don't care. And a lot of us nurses, the ones that actually care, do not want those type of nurses around. We'd rather not work with those type of nurses. In the medical field, period, if you are CNA, MA, LVN, RN, PA, NP, doctor, whatever it is, you see a lot of good and a lot of bad. It's stressful working in the medical field, but it's worth it. Like I said, if you love it, you get up the next morning and you're like, okay, let me see who else I could help. What else could I do? Because you actually love what you do. Yeah, of course you want to get paid, but think about it. You want to love what you do as well and get paid for it. So, with some nurses, I have my list over here, guys, so I won't forget anything. For some nurses, some actually work from home. A LVN, RN, for example, if you're doing approvals or denials of some sort for like a Medicare, Medicaid company, only thing you have to do is look up, if you're looking for a job to work from home, go to Indeed.com, Glassdoor.com, and oldie but goodie, Monster.com, and I believe CareerBuilder.com. And you will see a whole lot of listings that will most likely come up with like Superior Health or something like that where you could work at home. They will train you in office, of course, and you can work at home. Once you finish your training and you pass, you'll have a computer, whatever else, internet, and you do the work from home. So you could look that up online to get more information. A lot of people, well, not a lot of people, some nurses prefer to work from home, and some prefer no hands-on, as in saying they don't want to work with patients, period. They prefer just to do paperwork. Those are called paperwork nurses, basically. They have the knowledge and the skill, but for some reason they prefer no hands-on. Some of those same nurses do or did have hands-on experience, but after whatever that happened or they've been through, or sometimes they get traumatized by something, they're like, I'd rather be a paperwork nurse. And I've met a couple of those nurses actually. And they told me their story. And I'm going to break it down for you once I go through the list of different things you could do as a nurse. And you'll see why. Some of them chose the route of becoming a paper nurse. So, paperwork nurse. So you can work from home, working on people's approval, denial to see if they get extra hours for like home health or certain things to get paid for bills medically and different things like that. You just have to read documentation from the nurses, the doctors, and orders and different things. So if that's something you prefer to do, you go work from home. You just have to look it up. Like I said, Indeed.com, Glassdoor.com, CareerBuilder.com, Monster.com. And I'm trying to think if there's another one. I feel like there's another one I'm forgetting, but I might remember later and just add it later on. Okay, guys. Like I said, you can work from home. You know, do the home and you get actually a lunch at home and you're in the safety of your home, but you have to work those hours. You have to put in those hours and they have to see that there's work actually done. So it's not saying, oh, I'm home, I could do whatever I want. No. You're home, you actually have to do your job, make sure that patient is taken care of, and they might have like a certain amount you have to get done a day. So if you do not meet those requirements, then that's on you, I guess. But next, clinics. As a nurse, you can work in clinics. For instance, pain management. You work in pain management, you can help with medications, administer injections, inventory, different things like that, whichever, if you're LVN, RN, whichever is in your scope of practice. Because LVNs could do up to a certain point and RNs could do more. So it depends on which type of nurse you are. So with clinics, you could find any clinic that have pain management, OBGYN, cancer care centers, infusion centers, let me see, whatever clinic you could think of, you could work in that clinic. You just have to see if they're hiring and just go for it. And for some reason, some people, like a lot of nurses, I'm gonna be honest with you, say in clinics you don't really get paid a lot, but you get good benefits and you get a decent pay. Okay, you have a job, and as long as you love what you do and it's in the whatever it is that you want to work in, pain management, ortho, pediatrics, anything, you just let them know. And if you agree to the pay, you accept the pay, you get your benefits, and there you go, you have a job. You get so much skills when working in a clinic, I must say to that. You learn a lot, and you test your ability. And I tend to tell people, if you work in a clinic, like choose what you want to see yourself do, what you feel you would love to do. Like for instance, if you want to work with OBGYN patients, labor and delivery, the mental health clinics, whichever one that you feel that you could be helpful and useful and that you would just love to do. There's so many different clinics you could do. You just got to choose and go for it. Type up that resume or have someone do it for you. Get it going. Do not hesitate. And let me see. Hospitals. Working in a hospital. All these places I'm listing right now, it tests your skill, your patience. My pen just blew up. But anyway, it tests your patience as well as your heart, your empathy, compassion, all the above. So with hospitals, you learn so much. You go through so much. There's no downtime. And if there is downtime, you got to take it while you can. But if someone calls and needs you, guess what? You got to drop whatever you're doing and get going. Unless it's well planned, where they say, okay, this person's going to cover this nurse while this nurse is at lunch and out, then that's beautiful. That's a great thing. So in hospitals, you learn a lot, and you gain so much knowledge and skill hands-on. It could be trying at times to make you feel like, oh my God, I didn't know that, or wow, this is something new, because they're always changing something, always advanced medicine, as they'll say, advancing to something else. And you have to keep up with it in order to know these medications, how to administer it, and what is what. So you have to keep up with that. So if you like fast pace and all that other stuff, hospital work is for you. Now, nursing home. Ooh. Nursing home, nursing home, nursing home. Okay? Nursing home. I'm going to be honest with you guys. When I did my clinicals, we did it in nursing homes, and I did very well. I did what I had to do because I knew that's the skills and everything else I needed to be an amazing nurse and make sure when I'm out there in the real world, I know what I'm doing. Now, doing clinicals in a nursing home, a lot of people get hindered from actually wanting to work in a nursing home. And some actually say, hey, I'll work in a nursing home, and they do it. I give them a lot of respect. Nursing homes, it is not easy to work in, because when that call light is on and it's your patient, you got to do what you got to do. And if you're a really good nurse and you see someone's call light is on, but that nurse that's supposed to be for that patient is not available, but you're available, you'll go and see what the issue is and find that nurse or take care of it yourself for that nurse. And let me tell you something. There's not a lot of nurses that will actually do that for you. So it's kind of difficult. They'll just sit there, eat, disappear, do whatever they please while those call lights are on. It could be their patient, but they know you're that type of nurse that will say, hey, let me go see what's going on with this patient, since their nurse isn't around. When you're working in any of these places or in the medical field, you have to think, what if this is my family member or a friend? I'm not there to see how they're being treated or what's going on. I would want someone to actually take good care of my family member or friend, whoever it is, and not mistreat them, abuse them, ignore them, disregard them like they're nothing. In nursing homes, you learn a lot. When I say a lot, I mean a lot. You learn about good nurses, bad nurses, horrible attitudes, but you also see and find the good ones. And when you do, hold on to those and keep those in your circle. Because one day you're going to have to stand together against whatever the ignorant nurses, the bad ones, do or say. Trust me. And also, if a nurse does not come in, the nurse calls out, guess who has to stay? You're there already, so they're going to try to keep you there for additional hours, especially if no one else says, hey, I'll come in and cover. So it will be you covering another shift. So you're stuck there. You cannot leave. That's called abandonment. If you leave, you cannot just pick up like, well, I gotta go, I gotta pick up my kids, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. Oh, no, not in a nursing home. And it's very hard because you work so hard and you're tired and you have multiple patients that you have to attend to and take care, every 2 hours, turn the patient to a different side, help them use the restroom, administer medications if there's not a med aid there, and make sure they get their shots, injection, whatever. And make sure you document in the chart, make sure everything's in a computer, make sure the meds are ordered. It takes a lot. And this is for more than one patient. It's multiple patients. You have a whole floor to yourself. Now imagine if a nurse don't come in, because some of them do that. It'll be Friday and they're like, oh, I'm not going in. So guess we'll get to stay there and be stuck for another shift. And you're tired and exhausted. But check this out. You got to come in the next day, same time. Yeah. So working nursing home is difficult. And after doing clinicals in a nursing home and other stuff like that, it kind of hindered me. Like, no, I don't think that's for me. And that's why I love the nursing field, the medical field. You could choose whatever area you want that more suits you. So you could be the best nurse you could be. Now, assisted living. Ooh, Lord. Assisted living is basically elderly people who live there that need assisted living. They're capable of doing certain things, and it's similar to a nursing home. They have a room and everything else like that, but it's more like a home. I remember I worked at an assisted living, and it was overnight. And I was in charge of 4 different floors. Yeah, I said 4 different floors, yeah. And it was all on the same floor, but you could say 4 different floors, but it was sectioned off into 4 with 20-something, 30-something patients on each one. Yeah, 20-something, 30-something on each one. And I was in charge of 4 caregivers that's supposed to be on those floors. So basically you have 1 caregiver on each floor / section. They're supposed to make sure, the patient's beds are made, everything is checked and everything else like that. And they also had medication aids. And if they weren't there, then I would administer the medications, but I had to look over and make sure everything was done on time, give certain medications and injections, make sure there was no falls, nothing going on, check the perimeters of the facility, make sure all patients were inside, because there they had the ability to go outside, sit down, enjoy themselves like they're in their backyard on a patio or something. And I found it was really nice. It was beautiful. Each area had like a certain theme to it. Whether one side had like jazz, the other side had Beat the Beach, and one side had more like farm type things, and you get the picture. But I had to look over everything and check the inventory, check on the patients, make sure I do vitals, so on and so forth, assessments, and keep everything up to date. And at times it was kind of crazy because a lot of the times some of the caregivers wouldn't want to come in because it was overnight shift. So I would have to take over. Mind you, I'm doing 4 different areas, which each one entails 20-something patients, 30 give and take. And I have to make sure they're taken care of, as well as, the CNAs or med aids, caregivers that are there. And it wasn't bad. It was just the fact that one point, for some odd reason, there's always one, this caregiver. She felt that the overnight shift was for her to lay back. Each section had like a living room section where they could watch TV. It was a living room set up and everything. She felt it was her time to take a nap or go to sleep. She would push the recline. I would go because the door would make noise. So she knew if someone was coming in to check up on her, right? So she knew. So sometimes I'll open the door slowly and try not to make noise, and I would catch her sleeping. And I was told if I do see that, it has to be reported, in which I did. And I reported it. I gave her a chance. I gave her a verbal warning. And the next day, the same thing again. So I reported it. But then she did the same thing again. And for some odd reason, I came into work, and this nurse that's been there for years, she was like, God knows how old. She said, oh, yeah, she might sleep at night, but she does like double shifts, and she does this, she does that because we always don't have someone always calls out, but she's always here. And I said, excuse me? So what you're telling me is that you rather that over quality work? Mind you, within that time frame, there was a patient who fell, and I had to write an incident report. She didn't even know until I did my checks and saw that patient. And I was like, excuse me, you need to wake up. And she was reported again. Now, with that being said, I was upset. I'm like, here goes this seasoned nurse, right? This seasoned LVN is going to look at me and tell me, oh, she does double shifts. We need her because no one else wants to fill in for when people call out. And I'm like, that makes no sense to me, because if you want these people, these patients taken care of properly, you're hire someone that will stay awake and make sure they're okay. Make sure they're taken care of. Make sure they do their job. So she's going to get paid to sleep? So you rather her being here versus quality work, someone to do their job? And she looked at me and she was like, well, that's not what I mean. I said, that's exactly what you mean. And I said, you know what? I don't feel this place is a good fit for me. So I put in my resignation from this point. I hope you guys find what you're looking for, but this isn't for me. I would rather quality versus just having a body. You'd rather just have a body here to say someone is here instead of quality work, someone actually cares and do their job. You're paying this person to sleep? No, this isn't for me, but thank you guys. And I was done. I was so over it. I said, I could not believe this seasoned LVN in like her 60s, 70s, I don't even know. Oh, Lord, child. Gonna tell me that just because she does all these shifts, she's a liability. Like, you should know this. She is a liability. Now, if I wasn't doing my job and I was just sleeping, because I do double shifts and triple shifts and all that other stuff, you think they would let that go by? No. That's why I say, make sure if you enter this field, you're in it, not just for the money, but because you care and love people, patience, you love what you do. Quality work. That right there, working in that place, had me livid with that attitude. I said, you know what? Nah, this place isn't for me. I want to be someplace where they want good employees, not just bodies. And with that being said, that was it for me. I was out. Now, last but not least, home health. Ooh, good old home health. What should I say? Okay, I always said, oh, I wouldn't work with kids. Now, with home health, you could work with peds, children, or you could work with senior citizens, or you could do both. Some home health agencies actually have both pediatrics and adults, and some just have adults and some just have pediatrics. Now, I worked for different companies because I always tell nurses, don't always put your eggs in one basket. As in saying, don't just work for one home health agency. Why? Here's the reason why. If you're working, let's see, Monday to Wednesday, 12-hour shifts, right? 36 hours, correct? Now, all of a sudden, your patient ends up ill, stays in the hospital. You can't work in a hospital with the patient, so therefore, now you're without work 36 hours plus those 2 days. PRNs do come and they do go, but still, you want to be sent somewhere that you know nothing is going on or where the location is. And no, that's why I explain to people, if you work home health, at least have 2 or 3 agencies you work for. One is your main. You could do your Monday to Wednesday or whatever days you decide, and that will be whatever shifts you decide, whether it be 8 hours, 9, 10, 12, or 14 to 16. Yeah, those hours range from there depending on the case. And then you'll have your Thursday and Friday where you could work another case, or however, whatever days you want to do. If you prefer to work weekends and work twice a week, that's on you, whatever days you choose. But never put all your eggs in one basket. Always remember, working home health, that patient, God forbid, could end up sick and end up in a hospital. You're not able to work for that time that they're in the hospital. They could be in a hospital for a month. You're without a patient for a month. But if you have a second patient, guess what? You still have that patient, and then you could pick up PRNs to make up. Ding, 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 ding. I didn't have to learn that the hard way. It was just common sense to me. I'm like, wow, if this patient end up in a hospital, I'm going to be like, oh no, we don't do that here. We stay working, okay? And sometimes, the patients get better, or if they end up on hospice, they end up passing away, and then yes, you're without work. So you always have to have at least, I will say, 2 to 3 agencies you're working for. Do not stick to one, okay? And with home health and the rest of these places, always let them know what you're looking for. Do not be scared. Whether you're a beginning nurse or a seasoned nurse, I realize if you're there and you're just like oh yes, whatever it is you have or whatever it is you want to do, some will take advantage of you. I learned that. I remember from home health, I was always that person to say, hey, I'm here to help, just let me know. And I found myself saying yes to cases, home health cases, and I was like, wait a minute, I just finished a shift. You want me to do an additional 8 after I just did a 12? And I end up saying yes. So I'm up here drinking a Red Bull and everything and doing these extra hours. And when I started saying no, because it was weighing down on me, you get exhausted, it drains you. Then, I started to like the bad guy, because I already had them in a way of, oh, Olivia will say yes, just ask Olivia, she'll do it. And when I started saying no, they were like, no. Well, and I'm like, well, no, I'm tired. Because think about it. When you're working these shifts for all these different places, you get up at a certain time. There's travel time. Then the time you're actually there to do your shift. Then the travel to get back home. Then a little bit amount of time that you have to get ready for the next day, eat, take care of family, whatever, walk the dogs. And then you have to get up and do it all over again. They don't take that into consideration. They don't care, because it's a business. That's why you have to be your own advocate. That's a word, in the medical field. Advocate. You're an advocate for your patients, and you got to be an advocate for yourself. If not, they will take advantage of you. So, with that being said, home health, they do pay pretty nice. Some have some pay nice, and some do have great benefits as well. And you're in one home, taking care of one patient, so it's 1-to-1 ratio, which is not bad. You'll end up with a G2 patient, trait patient, whatever may have you. You'll end up with that patient, so you'll build up your skills. And if you're not familiar with those things, you just ask, and they actually train you before they send you out there. If there's a company that sends you out there without training, that's not a company you want to be with. The good ones will actually train you before you go out there. They'll see what is your level, what is your skills before you're sent out there, because you're representing their company, and they're not trying to send out nobody that's a liability, okay? So home health, that's the route I finally went to, and I like it. So here's my problem with home health. I like it a lot, right? Excuse me, guys, my allergies are like driving me nuts. I like it a lot. But sometimes you get put into homes that are really, how do I put this, draining. It sucks you dry, basically. And sometimes it's not even a patient, it's the family, the friends of this patient. Like, you could be there with the patient, and then all their family and friends come over. And you're trying to make sure the patient gets everything, because there's certain times you do certain things. Certain feedings, you got to make sure everything is on point, because you're that nurse. You have to document everything. And sometimes they come and disrupt, cause chaos, problems. Oh my God, let me tell you. In my experience, I ask now, is this a CPS case? Any violence, threats, security issues? Because I've been down that road. I got put in the middle of it. I got blamed. And I said, you know what? No, this isn't for me. So for now, all after that, oh no. I said, if it is, I'm sorry, can't do it. It was a headache. It was stressful. It was emotional. It was a pain, a straight pain. So with home health, you go through a lot. If you're a Christian or whatever religion you are, you go into a home where they're cursing and smoking and doing all sorts of stuff. It wears you down. Then you're like asking your company, hey, could you find me something else? And they'll ask why. And you're like, look, this or my religious beliefs, so on and so forth, and this is too much for me. You got to put your foot down and let them know what it is that you're wanting and what you're asking for. Because if not, they will give you whatever. Okay? So make sure you're an advocate for yourself, as well as your patient, of course. Something else you could do, travel nursing. Travel nursing, I hear, is really fun, and that's something I actually want to get into. Travel nursing, you could go with contract work, which they get paid nice, and I believe the benefits are good. You just have to basically take that contract, and you're going to be in that place, that area, facility. It could be a assisted living, nursing home, hospital, clinic, whatever. That's where you have to make sure your skills are up. You could be there for 8 weeks, 13 weeks, however long that contract is. That's how long you'll be there. So it's up to you, because they will send you to these different places. But you get to travel the world. Hello. And apparently they pay for your apartment, your hotel stay, your food. They give you vouchers for these things. Now, if you think about it, hey, if you get a discount on a plane ride or you just drive there, you save your money. That money's for you. Put it in the bank. Go travel, have fun. Then you have some downtime. You get to see different places. You're not in one place all the time. And one thing I did, hospice. I did travel hospice. So with that, travel hospice entails, okay, if you work for a company, they'll give you a list in the morning and let you know how many people you got to go travel. So you got to make sure you have a reliable car. You travel to different homes, and you let them know it has to be in a certain area so they won't send you all over the world into different parts of, like, for instance, Texas. So you let them know which part you actually, what area. But like, okay, make sure they're all in one area, or at least close by, so I won't be all over Texas. I'm not trying to be in San Antonio going to Austin, or going to Dallas, or Corpus Christi, or whatever they call it. So they'll keep an eye on that. They do pay your mileage. You could get benefits as well as pay. Depends on the company. The pay could be good, it could be bad. And I did the travel hospice, and I enjoyed it. I got to go to different nursing homes and different places where I go to certain patients and assess them, ask the nurses there if there's anything they need, there's any issues. any new orders from the doctors? How are they? And I get to sit down and talk with these patients for a little bit and do their head to toe assessments and document everything and write down mileage. With travel hospice, it's good, but then hello, you're working hospice. It could be emotional as well. You could see your list and it's your regular patients. You might have a few new ones. And then all of a sudden you're looking, there's a patient that you normally go to assess and they're not on that list. They tell you patient deceased. So, you get to know these patients, you sit down with them, you learn so much history and things from these people. It's amazing. It's just amazing. So travel hospice, I do like, and I might, get back into that eventually. And let me see. And they also have field nursing. So LVNs and RNs can actually go out for, like, example, Superior Health or one of those Medicare, Medicaid places. They'll give you a list of people, just like travel hospice. You go out, you assess them, document, come back, give the update on a patient, make sure everything is put into the system or whatever. And that's it. It just entails traveling. Now, mind you, if the roads are icy, slippery, rainy, pouring, storms, thunder, tornado, hurricane, you got to do that travel. You got to get that done. Unless they say, under these conditions, no one is going anywhere. Maybe you could call the patient and be like, hey, is everything okay? Or call their family. Hey, any updates, medication changes, need any refills, so on and so forth. Because that's basically what you do when you're in person. Only thing you're not able to do is your head to toe assessment on the patient. So there's so much that you could do in nursing. Like, if you're not happy in one area, find something else that's more for you. There's no excuse. There's so much that you could do. Trust me. When I first became a nurse, oh my God, I wanted to do a little bit of everything. Why? Number one, I wanted to build up my experience. Two, I wanted to know, hey, there's so much out there I could do. Let me try this. Let me try that. Let me try this. Build up my skills and learn so much more. Like I said, there was a few I knew, that ain't for me. I ain't even trying to, no. And there's some I was like, okay, I like this. Home health, travel, hospice, even at home work and different things like that. But it's not the same when you could go meet the patient and see how they're doing and have a conversation with them. Like, when I also did travel hospice, I also did, I forgot exactly what they call it, but it's just travel nursing basically, but it was based on the city I'm in. And I would do assessments, just drive. They'll give me a list, so I'll drive to their home. And it ranged from newborn babies to the elderly that I would do head to toe assessments, check their weight and different things like that, which I loved because you get to sit down with the family, talk and so on and so forth, and just see how that patient is and just take it from there. You get to know people. I like to mingle with people. And some I'm just like, oh my God, okay, let me just hurry and do what I gotta do and get the heck up out of this damn house or this area, whatever the hell it was. Because some of them places you're like, Jesus, is my car still gonna be here? Ooh, like things like that. So, yeah. But nursing is amazing as long as you're one of those nurses that love what you do and it's not just about the money. Okay? So if you're thinking about becoming a nurse, take those things into consideration. If you're just about the money, do not even do it. We don't want you. But if it's about compassion and helping others and making a change in this world, come on in. We welcome you with open arms. We need more nurses. This is why there's such a shortage of nurses. Because of a lot of them just are like, I don't even want to do this no more because of the things they go through, they see, they're traumatized. And that's some of the good nurses. And they got to deal with some bad things with certain nurses. So it's like, we need more good nurses. Let me say it like that. Not just nurses. We need nurses, real nurses, good nurses, compassion, empathy, and love. okay? And if you like this video, I'm going to need you to subscribe if you want to see more about nursing and everything else, and like this video to let me know, hey, I got to put up more stuff. And hey, maybe when I do my little travel stuff, hospice nursing and different things like that, I'll take you guys for the ride with me. What you think? That don't sound bad. So you hit that subscribe and like so I can post more videos like this for you guys, okay? Nurses, we got to stick together, make sure we do the best we can. And I'm thinking about also doing like a podcast for us nurses or medical field for things we go through, so we can have a shoulder to cry on, lean on for each other. Okay, guys? So I love you and thank you for watching. Okay? See you guys soon. Subscribe and like.